All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Eldest, a Three Brothers podcast. I have a very special guest with me today, and his name is Hui Wei Liu.
Yeah.
He is one of my oldest friends. How long have we been friends, Hui?
Almost 10 years, I think. Almost.
We're coming up on our 10-year friendiversary.
Friendiversary.
And he's here down from Boston visiting me.
Mm-hmm.
Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, Hui.
A little bit myself. Well, I was an Asian American. So, like, my parents found themselves in U.S. in the 90s. Yeah, late 80s and early 90s. I was born in Manhattan and then moved. I was raised in China for like 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And then I came back to elementary, and I've been around here since then, pretty much around Pennsylvania, New York, Long Island, which is where I met Mike. And then I also went to school in Pennsylvania to finish up my rest of the years of high school, and then finish up my college in Elizabethtown College. Check it out, please. We're always looking for students.
It's a proud alumni.
It's a liberal arts school, so only limited amount of people attend.
Right. So let's start at the beginning just to give a full picture of how you and I started being friends.
Mm-hmm.
I was part of a youth group at my old church called Faith Quest, and we had just come back from a winter retreat in Pennsylvania called Winter Blast at Camp Orchard Hill. Shout out. And we, who lived down the block from our church, just happened to be walking by that day, and he asked us why we were unpacking all of our luggage. And it was almost an instant friendship at that point, because he is such a personable guy, and everyone involved in the youth group just took so kindly to him. We invited him to youth group, we invited him to church, and from there on, he would come almost every Friday and every Sunday, respectively. And then, what happened after that? You ended up moving away.
Very short while.
What town did you move to?
I moved to a town named Shenandoah, which is a very small miners town, like coal mining town.
Oh yeah?
Not a town full of miners.
Right.
That's a different.
It's a college town.
Yeah, it's a
town
college
full of miners. What was I gonna say? So, how would you describe this town? Because I've been there a few times, and I have my own opinions about it based on my experience growing up on Long Island. But how would you describe that town?
It's very hilly. It's more hilly than you think because there are a lot of coal mines and a lot of abandoned buildings. So 40% is Polish immigrants. So a lot of like Polish habitats, block party, small. The story of Shenandoah is that if you go there, every 3 blocks there's a bar, and every 4 blocks is a church, and every 5 blocks there's a fire department. So the whole plan is like Thursday, Friday you get trash drinking, and then Saturday you go save the fire, and then to be a hero of the day, and Sunday you pray for your sins that you did, mistakes you made on Thursday, Fridays.
Oh my god.
So that's a kind of familiar environment I kind of grew up in. There's also a lot of people from Philly move out there, people that carry like drugs or carry like bad habits come out from it. They just said they pollute this area. They make this place like feel unsafe.
Well, that's kind of the impression I got when I was there. It seemed like a very sleepy town, very desolate almost. And I personally wouldn't walk around with my Rolex watch on in the streets of Shenandoah, only because I didn't trust a lot of people I saw on the street while I was there. And you moved there because your parents own a Chinese restaurant, correct?
Yes. They sold the one in Patrick where I lived, and then we moved up to that area looking for a different environment. A simple business. It was cheap, so you just pick it up, the restaurant, and then start a business there. I went up finishing high school there up to that point. I did a lot of sports there too, activities.
So then, at that point, you and I stayed in contact, and every time that the youth group went up to the same Winter Blast trip from then on out, I would drive out with a couple other people, my father and a gentleman named John Spitzer from our church, and we would come pick you up and bring you to the trip. So that was a lot of fun. And then you got to be on the trip that you had seen us coming home from. That the first time we met, which was cool. And we did that 3 or 4 years in a row, right? Do you have any fond memories from that?
Yeah, it was fun. So there was like the place you're in, like, these bunk beds. I was sleeping over with with people that my age think like me, there to learn about God, to have fun, enjoy themselves, but in the meantime discuss what their beliefs are, what their stages are, what things are they confused about. And it's so amazing getting to do that, because so early on, that's when you built these belief systems about Christianity and about religious. And at that point, you're confused about who you are, identity. Where am I going? What do I do with my life? And at that early onward, they just said, live your life with purpose. I remember that was one scene. But I remember that it was like planting a seed in yourself. And that's when Mike came around, wrapped his arm around me. And then we prayed for a moment, that hoping that God puts his faith inside us and then letting that faith continue to grow.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And those were very fond memories for me also. I think that's where you and I grew very close together. And now, here we are, almost 10 years later.
The other day I was driving, so this week I'm visiting for your birthday celebration. I was like, the other week I was like, holy crap, I've known you for 10 years. 10 years is a long time for our period of time.
And your birthday's coming up at the end of the month.
Yeah. Oh, we bonded over because we're both Pisces, and
I'm actually an Aquarius.
Because
I'm
we're
very
both
early in the month.
Right, but we're both water signs.
Yes.
So we think really much alike.
I don't know too much about astrology, but I do know that I'm an Aquarius.
Aquarius, yeah.
A lot of girls like to talk about that, so I figured I'd brush up on the subject.
Is it a good thing? I don't know what typical things they think about Aquarius. They're friendly. They're definitely open-minded. They're definitely emotionally intact.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could look it up.
We can look it up. We can search it up right now.
Let's see what it is.
Remind you, this is general terms. They don't fit everyone. If you don't see yourself suiting to it, it does not fit for everyone. That's Aquarius.
Oh, this is like an essay.
Oh my god, yeah.
They don't have just a list. Okay, here we go. Aquarius people are advanced, self-reliant, clever, exceptional, and optimistic. Air is their elemental sign. Oh, it's an air sign.
It's an air.
Although,
so I'm water.
Why would it not be water? Because it's a water bearer.
Aquarians, like air, lack distinct form and appear to resist classification. Oh, so you want to be different.
That makes sense.
Then others are enthusiastic and active, while other Aquarians are calm and sensitive. I think you're leaning towards enthusiastic and active.
Hyperactive.
I was like, can this guy sit? This quality tends to draw them towards anything fun and innovative. You are pretty innovative. I mean, like,
I appreciate that. That's a compliment coming from you.
Yeah.
Because you're an engineer, which we haven't mentioned yet, but we'll get to that.
Well, you're an engineer as well, and that's impressive among, like, the fact that... Oh, today so this is the first time I ever visit the place that you renovated. So this little home was very like it's small on the outside, but when I came in, so spacious. You utilize almost every area in this place, and you made this look fantastic.
Thank you, dude. I really appreciate that. Shout out to my dad who did a lot of the work with me.
Mr. Ortalo right there.
And we actually call this house the TARDIS. That's its nickname. If there are any Doctor Who fans that watch our podcast, you'll know that the TARDIS is a spaceship in disguise, and it is disguised as an old-time police phone box from England, and it's blue, but the gimmick in the show is that it's small on the outside but large on the inside.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we were going for. The house is actually painted blue on the outside. That was just a coincidence, but when you look from the outside, it seems really tiny, but you come in and it's like so grand. We have double height ceilings, sleeping loft, full basement, and enough room to sleep. 6 people theoretically?
6 people, yeah. This weekend there's like 6 of us here. Five of us here.
5, yeah.
But you could fit 1 more people if you finish up the other bedroom on the other side of the basement. So yeah, what I noticed is like it's clear everything. There's a lot of books that you put on the shelf, which I really appreciate. I'm a book person. What I also appreciate is like you use like every space was used so efficiently. Cupboards are used. Everything were well planted. It made sense to me. Keys are by the door. It's simple there. And then there's the bed was lofted where there's stairway to going down, and so that utilizes that space that was originally a bathroom, you said?
Yeah, when I first bought the house, that spare bedroom was a bathroom.
Okay.
That was where the bathtub was.
Yeah, so then they use that bathroom and they elevate like a wooden platform and put a bed on there. It was like a twin-size bed, enough for me to see everything. Enough to feel a light. And you had like a TV in almost every single room.
Yes.
I was like, what the?
I have a TV in every single room except for the kitchen. And I even have one in the bathroom.
Yeah. I mean, like, the living room is connected to the kitchen, so you have a TV on somewhere.
Right. So there's just in view of this chair that we're sitting in, we have 1, 2, and there's one in the spare room and one in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So that's 4 on the main floor, and then there's 1 downstairs.
Yeah. It's so impressive of how many like screens you need at one time.
We're a very technology oriented family.
Yeah.
We love our tech. We love our like entertainment systems. So
yeah.
I have like a video game system on every floor.
Yeah, I was like, this is crazy. It's very amazing how the environment that you built for this place.
I appreciate that. So tell me a little about what you went to school for.
Oh.
And what you do now for a living.
Oh, okay. So I'm an industrial engineer. So anyone that knows about industrial engineering, the topics you hear about lean manufacturing, Six Sigma, what are that? That's a standard for eliminating waste and efficiency. What that means, efficiency is in like efficiently use of human factors, human creativity.
Yeah.
And then you also reduce cost reduction using space well. And this goes into a lot of like Japanese theories where we learn about the Japanese manufacturing and like Toyota production systems. So we learn about how cars are made. We learn about how things are made. How can we make it more effective? I remember having great sessions with my friends who are in the class, and my professor says, go into Costco and look at how efficiently things are built, what their model is. You study business models. It's like business engineering. You learn about how things come into play, the little factors. Why is there a pizza at the end of every counter? So they because you made a lot of decisions in the day. They intensify you with the food at the end of the counter, because then you don't have to make so much decisions. You can just cheap food. People might go there just for the pizza or Costco chicken.
And incentivizing your customers is a great way to bring them back in.
And then like you don't have to, because you spend the whole time like shopping and you also wait in line, you're hungry. So they have the food down in the aisle, and it just makes it easier to attract more customers to stay a little longer with their experience. And they'll come back again. Brand loyalty. And thus Costco, you buy bulk amount of stuff. So family size with more than 3 would typically go there for like mass storage of things. And now since pandemic, the economy going lower, the cost of living rising, they're like, oh, how can I just maximize the amount of things for the best value things? They go to Costco.
I'm sure Costco stock went up after the pandemic.
Oh yeah, they did. Almost a lot of stuff went up, except recently they start falling.
Well, everything's down right now, unfortunately, but I think during the pandemic, Zoom went up.
Oh yeah, Zoom was sky high.
Amazon, DoorDash.
It was crazy. I was just sitting at home watching these stocks, because people where I worked at, I actually worked at a casino. I'll get back to that. At the casino. So there, I was like, people keep telling me like, oh, you should invest in this, you should invest in that. I was very alarmed, because if everyone is investing, that's like a big sign that the bear market will come, or something bad will come.
We were in a huge bull market when Trump was in office and the pandemic had just hit, because we suffered a small crash and then it was all uphill from there. I actually invested my entire savings in the stock market, doubled my net worth, and then used that as the down payment for this house. Yeah,
which is so cool that you were able to see that at that time and do it. I was just stuck home and then just not thinking about, I'm thinking about like what I want to do. So a little off track, I didn't get engineering job right off the bat. I kind of worked in different areas in warehousing, like UPS packaging, and then I got to work at a casino as a casino host, which is another important turning point, because it made me, when the pandemic happened, it made me think about what I wanted to do. You have that time to reflect sitting at home, so you're trying to do something you want to do, but you don't know how to do it, to get to it anymore, because you don't have relevant experience. Because almost every job, it's like, what are your experiences? But you don't get the job, you don't have the experiences. Almost all entry level require like 2-3 years of experience when you came in, and you don't have any. You just graduated college. The only thing you can relate is a 3-month internship. And that's not the case for everyone that had the years of experience.
And I'm not going to mention names, but you actually just helped somebody close to us revise their resume yesterday.
Yeah.
And I find that is a common problem with young people, is that we try to get these jobs that we need to survive in expensive living situations, such as Long Island or
New York,
Boston.
Boston City.
But the problem is that we don't have the experience that they're looking for in the job.
Yeah. Some colleges do that preparatory, my school do, but like not all the time will they actually teach you what resumes they're doing, what looks they're looking at, how to build a resume, how to plan to what job you want to do. Like a lot of career path, they don't really do that planning for you. They just assume that you already know.
Right.
Which is not the case. But anyhow, moving back a little bit. So I was finishing industrial engineering in 2019. So then I worked in different various service sectors and warehousing. And then ultimately I decided to resign, find a technician job up at North New Hampshire, Manchester, which is another nice city. Not Manchester, England, Manchester, New Hampshire. We have so many names like copy from there. But then I got to this job as a test engineer, which I do biomedical testing.
That's awesome. And what is your company specialize in? You were telling me about this yesterday.
Yeah, they do pneumatic automation. They sell parts to third-party vendors, which then sell it to the customers. We could build custom solutions, but we don't usually do. But it's pneumatic parts they use to do all sorts of packaging, needle sorting, food production, sealing bags, placing bag in a different location, boxing, packaging, automate that with liquid and pressure. Pressure.
That's really cool. How long have you been working there?
A year and a half. That actually rounds up pretty well.
How do you like it?
I enjoy it a lot. Challenging because it's different. It's like lab technicians, but with the idea that you can design your own tests.
Right.
You can design your own hypothesis, and then you have based off requirement what customer want. You use that and you design like how can I test that this reaches the tolerance that this product claims it can, or can it reach the FDA standards that it says it's electronically safe, and you could use it at if it fails, it alarms. That's cool, and that's challenging for me because I was at third year, fourth year, part of mine. I kind of shifted to a lot of business model, a lot of PowerPoint presentation, a lot of paperwork, while engineering, the project wise, was still keeping me enticed with like designing things, still in that level. So this is much more hands-on than I'm used to.
It's really cool. So sorry, I'm just waiting for the train to go by.
I love how the train goes by. I grew up like behind Bethlehem, so there's a train that goes by all the time, and that's actually it feels quite nice when I heard it last night.
Well, I'm glad you like it. For the podcast, it's a little inconvenient sometimes. It messes with my audio. But it does create a little character because sometimes I can't always edit it out when people are talking. So it's just like, all right, hey guys, we live next to a train station. So you came down for the weekend. Tell me what the highlight of your trip has been so far, because we did a few things yesterday. Obviously, we did a celebration on my birthday, which I appreciate you being there for. But we did some other stuff. Tell me what do we have for breakfast?
So wake up a little later because like very tired. We stayed up playing a little game, but morning we decided to choose what place we go. I was like, what would you like to usually have for breakfast? Start like that. And I was like, oh, maybe like dim sum. That would like to come, because like I live outside the city technically, so I don't really go in the city for like center stuff. And
I don't know if we mentioned this already, but you live in Boston right now.
Yeah, I live out a little bit outside of Boston, but there's dim sum places. They also say drink morning tea in Chinese, 喝早茶. But that just means that you're going there for appetizers. Like Spanish tapas or something like that. But instead of wine, they come with tea, and it's a brunch thing. And people go there when they want to sleep in. They usually go there after a late party, hardly ever, but I'm not sure Asians do party, or they stayed very late. Older ladies stayed very late playing mahjons or something. These tiles with cards that you try to match and make combos, but that's what really mahjong is.
So we drove into Flushing,
picked the area,
and what was the place called again?
Crown One.
It's just something we kind of Googled, right?
Yeah, Googled.
Figured it out. Here, I'm gonna put a video on the screen of when we were there. Where is it? Let's see.
Oh, so finding parking, we're always like so cautious, like, oh, what if we get ticketed or something like that? So, and then it's like where you park, or what if you park in the wrong block? So anyhow, we found a valet parking inside, and it was free.
Right,
so.
after
after we already parked, did a sick, like almost showed it in the movie films, like he just pulled up to a car, a little bit above in front of the car, he just immediately found a parking spot, reverse thing as smooth as you can, and then he got it in one try into the parallel parking, which is crazy because he was almost like a car and a half above the original car where he was supposed to park behind of. So he just reversed so quickly and then smoothed right in. I was like, wow.
Wait.
That was a highlight.
Let me just say this, because this is a funny coincidence. I took my driver's test back when I was like 16 or 17. And wait for this. Wee was visiting me at that time, and he was actually not in the car while I was taking the test, but he drove with me with my dad to take the driver's test. And the first time I took the test, I failed because I hit the curb on the parallel
parking. Yes.
And that's an instant failure.
Yeah.
I had to retake it in the future, but it was so funny because hearing him praise my parallel parking skills.
I was like, wow, he got so good at this. I was like, this is so smooth. He got it like this much, like literally 2 inches away from the curb. I'm like, holy.
It was a pretty
tight.
Moly. The two cars were pretty tight together. It was a small
space. It's just enough to fit his car.
Yeah, my BMW is pretty short, which is good. I'm gonna play the video real quick of us eating dim sum just for the audience.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch this.
This is so funny. Look at you.
Yeah, now, I'm sitting down.
The best part about this is that we is the only one who understood anything that they were saying.
Yeah. So I was like translator.
Look at that card. Oh my god.
Like immediately I got in, I sat down. They gave me this card for you to put stamps on, and then like within that minute, ladies came over with cards and says, what do you want, pick this. Mike doesn't understand what's going on, but the lady was like, oh, you want to try this is good, and I was like, yeah I know, but like I just wanted the chicken feet. And they brought more, and they kept showing everything, and that's the kind of environment you have there. And like, oh, you guys don't know what you want, like we gotta tell them. They came by, and then our table was full by like 2 minutes afterwards. It's quickly stacked with these, not pallet, what do you call it? It's like bamboo. It's like bamboo made, but they use it to like contain the food to, and then steam, so you can stack on top of another.
Because they have like the bamboo, I don't know what you would call baskets.
Container.
They have like openings on the bottom so the steam can rise from level to level, which I thought was really cool.
That's how
I know Asian cultures have such innovations that are so simple yet so
but
complex.
With food, a lot of them with food.
That's true. Yeah, that was a really interesting experience. I had never had dim sum before, although a lot of people have recommended it to me. A lot of new foods. It's not like Chinese American food where you go to a buffet and you're eating like wonton soup and
these are very Americanized, like Panda Express.
Right, what I'm describing is very Americanized.
What you typically think of
as Chinese food. This was more Cantonese.
Yeah, Cantonese style. It's a form that they do, like ladies wearing red, pushing a cart of food, and they give you stamps whenever you like what you ordered. Managers are always in vests. They're always dressed properly, and then you have managers with an actual, like the management of these supervisors have those coats hanging, so they'll come around looking if you're doing your work or not.
And I learned a trick. Whenever you're talking, you're in conversation, and one of the wait staff pours you some tea, and you want to say thank you, but you don't want to break eye contact or break conversation with the person you're conversing with, you just tap your finger on the table and maybe give a little nod or something, and they understand that to mean thank you for serving us, which I thought that was really cool. I'm going to use that in the future.
Yeah. So I halfway through I start seeing them. I poured Mike a drink, and then he started using this on me. I was like, okay, cool for remembering this, but usually do it to the server. Friends, you're like, I don't care.
Because Wee is talking to me while he's pouring me another glass of tea. So I'm trying to like not interrupt him, and I'm just like, thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
That was funny. It was a good experience, and since I didn't understand anything that they were serving us, like, because they spoke primarily Chinese or
Cantonese.
Cantonese.
They kept breaking in and out of Cantonese and Chinese. I can understand Cantonese. Consider I worked in the casino and there's a lot of Asians there. I had to do the translation. That's partially why I was there. And for that required me to have a certain ability to listen to Cantonese. So I was able to distinguish what they're saying. We ordered like chicken feet, pork spare rib tips, beef spare ribs, and
a lot of shrimp.
Dim sums, shrimp dumpling with rice.
Shrimp rolls.
Shrimp roll. Oh, spring roll.
Spring roll.
We did a shrimp roll too, but that one was wrapped with tofu skin.
There was like a bok choy dumpling type
Bok
thing.
choy, yeah.
I don't know if it was bok choy. It
But
was some sort of green vegetable.
I know in Mandarin is 芥菜. I believe that's the right word.
Say that one more time into the mic so I can.
It's a 芥菜.
Tia.
芥菜.
Okay.
Yeah, like that kind of wrap with a little bit of shrimp in there. So all these food are new. How did you like it? Share a little bit with the audience.
I genuinely did not dislike anything. I thought it was all very good. It was definitely not something I was used to culturally. I'm Italian. I eat a lot of Italian food. I eat a lot of Sicilian dishes.
Yeah.
Pasta, pizza, chicken, fish, but not cooked the way Asians cook it. It was different. A lot of steamed food. A lot of different uses of spices. The chicken legs I was not expecting.
Yeah, you said the texture is weird.
The texture was so gummy and strange, and like they're chicken feet. They're not chicken legs. They're like they're actual feet. So you put it in your mouth, and it's so tender that you chew it, and then you hit the little digits, the bone digits of the chicken's foot, and you have to spit it out before you swallow. Ugh, that was so weird. It's like it tasted fine. But
to me, it's natural. So.
It grossed me out. It was so weird. And then you actually had 2 servings of that.
Yeah, because when I go to dim sum, this is the first thing I order. I think they are good, and I like to order 2 of them. But I was under. We over ordered, of course, but I underestimated how much portions there was for just 2 people. So I think we ordered like 3 or 4 people amount of food, and they go by what you ordered, and they count that stamp for cost.
They put little stamps on this. It's like a bingo card, and they stamp it per dish, and then they charge you how many dishes.
It's like small dish, middle dish, big dish, and then special order.
Right.
And then I've ever seen like the special order we had like 4, which is what brought the cost up. It's about like 107, right? With 18% tax.
Percent tip?
18% tip.
Yeah, it came out to like
18% tax. That's ridiculous.
That would be,
food tax. Oh my god. Yeah.
So that was a good time. And then we took a walk through a park. We saw Fort Tutton. That was interesting. There's a lot we could say about that, but we just did some we took some photos and, walked around. It was cool.
Maybe went over some gates.
Yeah, we trespassed just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
We were trying to get on the roof of the fort so we could take a photo like over the water.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. It's one of the New York City parks.
So don't do what we do.
Right.
Don't do what we do.
Do what we say, not what we do. Right?
Yeah.
Don't follow our example. Yeah. But I'm glad we got to sit down and talk about this stuff. It's been fun catching up. I really wanted to have you on the podcast just to immortalize our friendship on film. Yep. And
something we can look back on.
It's funny because a lot of my friends here at home on Long Island haven't met you yet. Some have, some haven't, and I want them to know who you are.
And this is what brings up we will have to go there soon. We're going to church now.
We're about to leave for church, so we're going to meet some people there. But thank you for being a guest on my podcast.
You're welcome.
And I hope we can do this again sometime soon. We're going to be doing some series about video games and different things like that. We played one with my cousin Tessa so far that we released. And I have more in the works with other friends and family. So maybe we can do something online from Boston to New York.
Maybe we could try that.
And then we'll do a Skype podcast summarizing our experiences.
Right?
We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. I know this was a little bit of a shorter episode, but this has been Eldest Born, a Three Brothers podcast, and thanks for watching.